Bill and Ernie, now at 4:30.
I must say, I don't like any of this one bit.
There's nothing to worry about, Geraldine. Mr. Smith does this sort of work all the time.
Mr. Smith disturbs me, too. He hasn't said a single word since he hooked up that cattle prod or whatever it is.
It's a bug detector, and you can't say a word until he's sure the place is secure.
I'm afraid, Miss Whitney.
Yeah?
This place isn't.
Oh, no. Not my phone, too.
I'm sorry. I've ruined a wonderful evening by my foolishness.
There's nothing foolish about it.
Thank you for being there.
I'm glad I was.
Bye.
Yeah.
Dr. Kavanaugh, Chris is here.
Oh, what a pleasant surprise.
Miles, we have to talk.
What's the matter?
Derek is the matter.
Oh, I see. Derek.
Miles, he came to visit me a couple of nights ago. He suspects what happened between you and me in Fair River.
No, he doesn't suspect. How could he know?
Good cops have a way of putting two and two together.
He'd come right out and say something, or look, it may just be your imagination.
If it was anyone else but Derek, I might buy that. But it is Derek. I'm telling you, Miles, he knows.
What is it, Donald?
Mr. Van Dyne, we've had a minor setback. Nothing that could implicate us in any way, of course. It's
You
just...
have an uncanny way of skirting the issue, Donald. Tell me about this setback of yours. I'll decide how minor it is.
Yes, sir. The Whitneys have located the listening device in Geraldine Saxon's telephone.
Donald, do you know what Stan Hathaway said before he died?
No, sir, I don't.
He said, "We own this town. Own this town." I think the time has come for us to prove that.
The Edge of Night is brought to you by Mountain Grown Folgers, Mountain Grown coffee, the richest kind, and by Lemon Fresh Joy, for a beautiful shine without towel drying.
Ginny, those dishes I gave you still shine.
You let your joy show in the things you do, so let our joy flow. Watch that shine come through, you'll see your plates glow. People notice them too, our joy's a reason.
Only Lemon Fresh Joy's exclusive formula lets dishes dry clean, shiny, practically spot-free, right on the rack. Watch. Other leading brands can dry leaving dirty-looking spots. Only Joy's anti-spotting formula lets dishes dry practically spot-free down to the shine.
You let your joy show in the things you do, you'll see your plates glow. People notice them too, our joy's a reason. Let your joy show.
I love coconut pie. Friends ask me why mine tastes so delicious. Well, I take fresh coconut, grate it, toast it, and mix it through the pie. I'm Mrs. Olson. The right ingredients are so important in good cooking. That's why Folgers is good cooking. Because Folgers has that just right, delicious ingredient, mountain-grown coffee. Mountain-grown beans mean more rich flavor and aroma than other kinds of coffee. Delicious. Try Folgers or Folgers flaked coffee. Folgers is mountain-grown coffee. Folgers is good cooking.
Look, Chris, I've never been ashamed of my feelings before. I'm not going to start now. I've told you I don't regret what we did together, and I don't think you should either. I mean that.
Miles, I'm not sorry for what happened. I'm not. But I am sorry for Derek.
Yeah, I know. So am I. He's been such a good friend, especially since Nicole died.
So, where do we go from here?
I'm afraid it's where do you go from here, because if it were up to me, it wouldn't be any problem at all. You're the one that has a decision to make. You've got to turn 3 people into 2.
Oh, Miles, I don't know if I can do that.
I think you're going to have to. Yes, Amy. Oh, all right. Yeah, send her in. Sorry. Hi.
It's time for you to return the favor, Miles. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry myself. Beth, this is Chris Egan. She's a detective on the Monticello Police Force. Chris, this is Dr. Beth Correll. She's been helping Davy Oakes and Dee Dee.
Oh, I'm sorry for storming in here like this.
No problem at all. What's on your mind?
It's Davy.
Oh, how is he?
Very well. That's why I'm here. Miles, I'm convinced Davy is well enough to be released on bail.
You must be a miracle worker. You've only been treating him a couple of weeks.
He's treating himself. His escape, his trip to Fair River, you were right, it's helped him.
Well, I'm afraid not in the eyes of the police.
Maybe it's the fact that Davy is free from whatever outside influence was guiding him. I don't know. The boy is still introverted, but the latent hostility is gone.
Well, I think this is wonderful news, and getting him out of the jail would be very good for him.
Exactly.
Except you know that doing that's going to be an uphill battle.
That's why I've come to you.
Really? What can I do?
I want you to ask your friend Derek Mallory to let Davy out on bail.
So you're telling me that ISIS bought more than just microphones and transmitters?
Mm-hmm. Some of the most sophisticated surveillance equipment in the world.
When did all this happen?
March of '82.
Sky.
Yeah, I know. That means they bought the equipment right around the same time that Stan Hathaway left Uninet to join WMON News.
Are you telling me that I could have been bugged, as you put it, all that time?
Certainly looks that way, Geraldine.
Well, I want to thank you very much, Mr. Smith, for your services here. Thank you.
Oh, good Lord. The things I have said on that telephone. Just too horrible to contemplate.
Geraldine, look, I'm sorry. I had no intention of bringing this kind of trouble to you.
Are you sure you did, Skylar?
What do you mean?
Alicia Van Dyne puts that dreadful thing on my telephone. And through her brother, begins a campaign to seize control of WMON. But after you no longer owned the station, did she stop then?
No.
Certainly not. Which leads me to suspect that she has something against me, too.
Why? It's not your fault you're his aunt.
Thank you.
I'm aware of that, Raven. I don't have an answer for you, but that seems to be the case.
Yeah, but my car suffered, too. It just doesn't make any sense.
Are you going to stay in the ISIS building now that Louis Van Dyne knows who you are?
Oh, absolutely. I'm not going to give him the pleasure of satisfaction knowing that he frightened me.
Yes, I was afraid you'd say something like that.
No. Van Dyne is challenging me. He's challenging me to go one-on-one with him.
1-on-2.
And are you going to give up your masquerade as the Hedgepeths?
Yes, we are going to give up that masquerade, Raven. I think it's time that you went down to the police and told them the whole story. Where did you ever get a name like Hedgepeth from, anyway?
Well, if you'll excuse me, I should be getting back to work.
It was very nice meeting you, Miss Egan.
Chris.
I'll give you a call.
I'll, consider our conversation. Bye.
So, this is the building where Dee Dee worked.
Yes, it is. How is she?
It's a bit early for any prognosis at this point.
She's got such a strong, good mind. I just got to bet that she'll make it.
Oh, I had a talk with Calvin Stoner yesterday. He mentioned something about Dee Dee's partner coming up with a theory, something about her illness being caught from other people.
That would be Cliff Nelson's all-purpose traveling paranoia theory. I didn't even want to mention it to you. It's just so impossible, except for the fact that there are several people in this building who have exhibited symptoms remarkably like Dee Dee's.
Have there? You know, Miles, if you don't mind, I think I'd like to snoop around this building for a moment or two.
Any idea what you're looking for?
Not really. I'd just like to see Dee Dee's office, get a general impression of the building, the people in it.
Okay, it's fine with me. Dee Dee's office is...
Well, you're keeping an eye on them. We'll keep an eye on you, Dr. Carell.
There are maps of all the offices right around the building.
Your friends are having a Tupperware party, and you're invited.
It's a sunny hello, it's a smile and a laugh in the company of friends. You're in the company of friends. Tupperware, company of friends.
A Tupperware party is new products and ideas, but it's also friends.
You're in the company of friends. Tupperware.
Pour on the power, go for the glory. This is the story of what you're made of. Beef gives strength, it helps you through it. Beef gives strength, it helps you through it.
Beef in a balanced diet. It's one of the best sources of protein, iron, and B vitamins going for a whole new pride in strength.
Beef gives strength, helps keep you going. Beef gives strength from inside. Beef puts pride in a body. Beef gives strength.
Look, Chief, I'm telling you, Nelson's apartment was gone over with a fine-tooth comb. There were no fingerprints, no sign of forced entry, nothing. The only thing we did find was that faulty feed line to the stove.
Which doesn't really change anything, at least in Cliff Nelson's mind. He thinks it was a murder attempt. All right, how do you feel about it?
It's hard to say. Look, personally, I don't think that Cliff's testifying that Hex switched those suicide notes was enough to scare Hex into trying to kill him. On the other hand, I haven't come up with any enemies that I think would try to do something like that. It's just difficult to believe.
All right, well, there's nothing else for us to do except just label it an accident and close the books. Thanks, Calvin. Well, listen, have you had any words from that elusive Margot Hedgepeth?
No, there's been nothing yet. As a matter of fact, it's beginning to look like she may be trying to avoid us.
All right, we'll keep after her, will you? And how's Dee Dee?
Actually, I'm afraid right now it's just kind of touch and go.
Give her my best, will you?
Yeah, I'll do that. Thanks.
Whoops. Oh, excuse me. I have a habit of not watching where I'm going.
Oh, well, that's why I'm here to watch over you. Donald Hex, Chief of Security here in the building. May I be of some help?
Well, actually, maybe you can. I'm Dr. Carell, the psychiatrist treating Dee Dee Bannister.
Oh, yes. Mr. Nelson's partner. Poor lady. I've been very concerned about Miss Bannister since her breakdown. Is that what it was? I'm not up on the technical jargon.
It'll do.
Well, I'm anxious to be of help in any way I can.
Yes, I can see that you're anxious.
I beg your pardon?
Tell me, Mr. Hext, have you noticed anyone else with Dee Dee's symptoms, with the idea that people are out to get them?
Well, I noticed quite a few cases like that in the Army. Terrible thing to see, just terrible.
Yes, I'm sure, but I'm more interested in the people in the ISIS building.
Oh, well, I can't say that I've noticed anything unusual going on here, at least not like that.
You were with Dee Dee when she had her breakdown. I wonder if you'd mind my asking what you were discussing?
Well, that's what's so sad. You see, I'd heard that she was unhappy, so I thought I might stop by and see if there was anything I could do.
Oh, that kind of thing part of the security services here?
Well, keeping our clients content is, Doctor. Although in Miss Bannister's case, I'm afraid there wasn't much I could do. She was pretty far gone by the time I saw her.
Well, thank you for your time, Mr. Hext.
You're perfectly welcome.
Hi, Calvin. Anything new with Dee Dee?
Well, Dr. Carell's still working with her.
Dr. Carell. Yeah, I met her over at Miles' office today. You know, I think Dee Dee's in good hands.
Chris, you know, I haven't had one wink of sleep since this whole thing started.
Hey, Calvin, why don't you take the day off? I can cover for you.
Good afternoon.
Depends on where you're sitting.
You don't seem very pleased to see me.
Must be telepathy. I'm not.
Why, you should be.
Oh, and why is that?
Because I'm about to tell you something that you might be very interested in.
Well, would you kindly tell us what it is you came to say?
I'm Margot Hedgepeth.
That's it.
One more. I gotta whip you.
Promise Mom and Dad 9 o'clock. Did you brush?
I just don't think of it.
Well, don't think of it as brushing. Think of it as maybe you winning.
Huh?
This crest is even better than the crest that any of us had at your age.
So?
So we can beat Mom and Dad with even better checkups.
Yeah. Maybe I can beat you, too.
Oh, go for it.
With Crest, your kids could have even fewer cavities than you did.
Stains. Tough stains on laundry. Today, there's a liquid laundry detergent that lets you write them off, even set in blood. Like that. Era Plus. The plus is protein, because many stains like blood and grass are made of protein. And protein gets out protein. Nothing gets out every stain, but Era Plus gets out some of the toughest, with the surprising cleaning power of protein.
Do you bake with margarine? Then you should know about new Butter Flavor Crisco. Butter Flavor Crisco makes cakes rise higher. You can see the difference. But more important, Butter Flavor Crisco gives baked foods more butter flavor than margarine. A flavor so rich, there's only one word for it.
Butter.
Yeah, that's our word for it. New Butter Flavor Crisco makes baking with margarine obsolete. Now there are 2 great Criscos.
Amy, why don't you go on home? I can lock up.
Oh, okay, fine. So I'll see you tomorrow. Good night, Dr. Carell.
Good night.
Look, Beth, I've been giving a lot of thought to what you said about Davy Oakes, and that...
Why all the debate? Don't you trust my diagnosis?
Oh, yeah, it's not that. It's just that Derek... Look, never mind. I will stop in at Derek's office, have a talk with him on my way home.
Thank you.
Now, did you get a chance to speak with Cliff Nelson?
No, but I did have a talk with his paralegal, Marty Stillwater. Now, he's not convinced that Nelson's theory is right, but I had a feeling he wasn't telling me all he knows.
Well, I'm sure Cliff is trying to help, but I have a feeling he's just confusing the issue.
Well, we have to rule out contagious paranoia. I'm afraid there is no such thing. Oh, and I bumped into, literally, the head of security, a Mr. Hext.
Oh, yes. What'd you think of him?
He's worried about something, I'm sure of it. And whatever it is, something to do with Dee Dee Bannister.
We opened the dating service. I opened the dating service under an assumed name because we didn't want the public to know that we had to resort to such a disgraceful way of making money.
No, I don't believe you two. You've interfered in another police investigation. Must be something we can charge them with.
Obstruction of justice comes to mind.
Wait a minute. The only thing I did was follow Chief Mallory's advice.
What are you talking about?
Derek told Sky and I that we should get a job, so that's what we did. Honest people making an honest living.
Don't make me laugh.
I wouldn't think of it.
Tell us about Mayhew's suicide note.
What about it?
Did you see Hext switch the envelopes?
No.
Did you see the original envelope?
Yes.
Was it handwritten or was it typed?
I didn't notice. I'm sorry.
You certainly are.
Come on, Detective, lighten up. Raven had enough on her mind without wondering about envelopes being switched. I mean, for God's sake, Alf, May, you just jumped out of a window.
Okay, I'm not playing any more head games with either of you, so just get out of here, okay?
All right. You both know what's next. You'll be in touch.
Yeah, you can count on it. Something funny, Detective Stoner?
Yeah. A dating service. No wonder they changed their names.
Come in.
Oh.
Hello, Miles. Something I can do for you?
Yeah, Derek, I wanted to talk to you about Davy Oakes.
What about him?
Well, Dr. Carell believes that he's well enough to be released on bail, and what's more important, it would help him if he were.
Chief Mallory.
Hello, Chief Mallory. This is a concerned friend.
All right. What do you want?
I want to do you a good turn.
Go on.
I thought you might like to know that your girlfriend, Chris Egan, has been sleeping with your best friend, Miles Cavanaugh.
Wait a minute. Who the hell is this?
Let's just say I'm the voice of Dr. Cavanaugh's conscience.
What was that all about?
It was an anonymous phone call. We get those around here a lot.
Oh. Well, look, about Davy Oakes.
This one mentioned you.
Me?
Something about you and Chris sleeping together, but there couldn't be any truth to that, could there?
Wesson wants to know, how crispy do you like your fried chicken?
Super crispy. Crunchy crispy.
Real crispy.
Well, come and get it, just as crispy as you like it, 'cause Wesson keeps it juicy inside.
No matter how crispy they like it, lightly, extra, even super crispy, that crisp Wesson crust seals in the juicy flavor.
So come and get it, just as crispy as you like it, 'cause Wesson keeps it juicy inside.
Because Wesson keeps it juicy inside.
Let's see. Benson is coming to daytime. No. At last it's Benson in the morning. Nah.
Yes, it's true. Benson and the Governor's lovable team are coming to daytime. It's a great day as Benson joins your weekday mornings.
That sounds good to me.
It's funny how people get ideas into their heads, isn't it? They see a man being friendly to a woman, and of course they have to assume that he must be sleeping with her, but luckily we know that's not true, don't we, Miles? Don't we?
Derek.
Yes, Miles?
Oh, no, damn it, you're baiting me.
Am I? I wasn't aware of that. I'm sorry.
You knew about it, didn't you?
Well, I sure suspected it. Tried to reach Chris in her room till 2 in the morning. There was no answer there.
She was in mine.
Aren't you going to tell me now that you were just working late?
No.
Chris was there on an assignment that I had given her. And you, my friend, went along because I asked you to, for Davy's sake.
Derek, can we try not to make this any more difficult for the two of us than it already is?
Are you going to tell me now that it just happened? I've seen enough old movies with you to know that's usually the best friend's line. And then I should have a response, something like, how could you do this to me? Does that sound about right, or do I need a little help with my dialogue?
Derek, please.
No. I've been holding this in for a long time, and now you're going to hear it. Ever since I started seeing Chris, ever since I started going out with her, I asked you to go along because I felt that you were lonely, that you missed Nicole. Chris agreed.
Was it out of kindness or out of pity?
Call it whatever you like.
I don't need your pity, Derek.
You sure took advantage of my friendship and my trust because you knew I was interested in Chris.
Yes, I knew. That time you came by, the both of you, to take me to that Italian Western, I told you I had other plans. I didn't have other plans. I was lying to you. I was trying to stay out of your way.
I tried a little harder.
Look, neither one of us meant to hurt you. I swear to God. Ask Chris. She likes the both of us.
She sure isn't sleeping with the both of us.
Derek, we were together one time.
Oh, don't hold back on my account.
I'm not. Chris is the one holding back if it were up to me.
Oh, get out of here now.
What about Davy Oaks?
I don't care about him. He can rot in that jail cell for all I care. And I don't care if you join him.
It doesn't have anything to do with you and me. Dr. Carell thinks he's well enough to be released. I agree with her. All we're asking
Look,
you
I
to
don't
do
care
is...
what you're asking. He stays in that jail cell. You can get out of my office.
What happened? Let me help you.
No help.
Please, sir, let me help you up.
Go out! Well...
Yes, sir.
And Donald, forget you ever came in here.
Yes, sir.
Jell-O snack's gonna make a big splash. The girls, I juiced up Jell-O with orange juice. Wow!
Get Jell-O, gelatin, create a sensation.
It's easy. Instead of cold water, add orange juice to Jell-O brand gelatin. Set and serve.
It's juicy, it's light, and Mom makes it dynamite.
J-E-L-L-O.
Play the Jell-O Instant Winner game. Look for game cards in special Jell-O boxes.
I wanted one more shot at that old fire engine, but then Duke got into the act. Ah, Duke.
How about some coffee? So your book's about the South?
The whole country, really. That's good coffee.
That's Maxwell House.
It seems whenever coffee tastes this good, good to the last drop, it couldn't be anything but Maxwell House.
It couldn't be anything but Maxwell House.
This is Joan London. Tomorrow on Good Morning America, is there a real gender gap between women and President Reagan? Also, Dynasty's Joan Collins. This week, Joe Clayburgh, Johnny Bench, and Carl Yastrzemski on Good Morning America.
Tonight, Shabu the Hip Genie turns himself and his roommate into the hottest new soul group on Soul Train on Just Our Luck. Then an old failure prompts the Fonz to conquer Suicide Hill on his motorcycle on the season premiere of Happy Days. Tonight, keyboards are replacing blackboards in classrooms.
That's correct.
Teaching math, logic, problem solving.
If you don't learn now, you might be left out.
Computers are bringing kids face to face with the future. Watch ABC's World News Tonight with Peter Jennings tonight.
Coming up in a moment on Eyewitness Extra, the America's Cup is turned over to Australia. I guess I'm smiling. They are not smiling at New York's old yacht club. They are, however, laughing and smiling and going wild with joy in Australia. We're going to see a bit of the celebrations in a moment.
I'm Edge Miller, and I have a good news story about toys for handicapped children and the two women who are making it possible.
And good news about one of America's favorite tourist attractions, coming up today on Eyewitness News at 4:30.
Wizard of Oz outtakes, 7:30 to 9.
Regularly scheduled programming will not be seen at this time so that we may bring you an ABC Afterschool special. It's no crush, I'm in love.
Today on the season premiere of the ABC Afterschool special,
Look, that's him, look.
Anne has a crush on her English teacher,
I'm in love.
and she's got to find a way to let him know.
Could I be your research assistant?
It's no crush, I'm in love. Today's Afterschool special.
yet. I want to go back to Miami. I want to go back to Luis.
You've got to stop thinking about him, Siegelbaum. Thanksgiving is over. You've got to get on with your life. Miami is thousands of miles away.
Maybe I could go back and live with my grandmother. No, my parents would never let me. Maybe I'll call him up just to say hello. No, I should try and forget him. Maybe I'll get him a card. Is there a holiday coming up soon?
December 7th, the bombing of Pearl Harbor.
Could I send him a card for that?
Siegelbaum, look!
What?
They got a story on Zach Whittier. Wait a minute, I gotta buy this.
I can't believe you're still into this guy. I mean, don't you get a little bored having a love affair with a television picture?
Siegelbaum, Zach Whittier is like the perfect man. He's everything I ever dream about. He is...
Let me see this. Daytime's Dreamboat, the Searching Heart's Heartthrob. He plays the doctor, right? The one whose wife died while he was operating on her?
No, that's Kelly Cott. Zach is the journalist who fell in love with this beautiful woman, only it turns out that this woman is the illegitimate daughter of his father.
Naturally.
He's wonderful. No one we ever meet is wonderful like that.
How would you know? You never even try to get to know any boys.
I'm just not interested in ordinary boys. I want someone...
I know. You want someone like Zach.
I am not the one who falls in love with every boy who happens to look at me.
Well, there happen to be a lot of interesting people out there. If only you'd look.
For what? A boyfriend. Why does everyone in high school have to have a boyfriend? Everyone in couples, it makes me want to gag.
And your approach is so much more civilized, right? Falling in love with people you don't even know.
Siegelbaum?
No, don't explain it. I don't want to understand.
I wish your parents would let you go to public school.
Not a chance. They're committed to the belief that kids who go to progressive schools wind up doing something artsy when they grow up. Wait till they hear I want to be a prison warden.
See ya.
Morning, class. My name is David Angelucci. Angelucci, that means Angel's Light. Mrs. Lippincott won't be teaching this class anymore. I am going to be filling in for her. That, my friends, makes me your new English teacher. This is my first day at Tuckahoe High. Therefore, it is your responsibility to make me feel welcome, popular, safe, and fascinating. Of course, some of you may need a little persuading. What are you reading?
It's a magazine.
May I see it, please? Thank you. I assume, then, that you are a fan of the daytime dramas.
Yes.
Tell me, why do you watch them? What makes you tune in every day?
Well, I like the people. They're very exciting and brave and handsome.
Well, you are going to be my challenge for the rest of this term. I'm going to try and make you see that great literature can be just as fascinating and just as thrilling as your favorite soap opera. Okay?
We'll return after these messages.
ABC Afterschool Specials, brought to you by Kellogg's. Kellogg's, the best to you each morning.
I love the crunchy wheat taste of Kellogg's Mini Wheats, but the frosting side agrees with the little kid in me.
The
whole grain shredded wheat side, to me, is quite superior. The light frosting pleases my girlish interior.
Kellogg's regular and apple-frosted mini-wheat cereals, part of this nutritious breakfast.
For me, the manly side of mini wheats is fitting. But the frosting's good, too. And I'm not kidding.
Now you can imagine all the power in the universe. The Masters of the Universe collection. 23 pieces, each sold separately. There's He-Man and these heroic action figures. Skeletor and the Warriors of Evil, and 4 fighting creatures. Castle Grayskull, Point Dread, and the Talon Fighter. You put them together. And battle machines like the Attack Track, batteries not included. What would you do with all the power in the universe?
Wow.
He-Man, Skeletor, and all other items from the Masters of the Universe collection, each sold separately. From Mattel.
Try to find a box of Crunch and Munch in this house. See what I mean? Dad emptied this one watching the game. Didn't even leave a peanut. My sister ate this one on the phone. Huh. Not even a tiny piece of toffee. Mom ate this one, typed her newsletter. Didn't leave any popcorn. Popcorn and peanuts and real buttery toffee. Crunch and Munch, it sure tastes good right now.
Crunch and Munch, the delicious anytime, anywhere snack.
Now back to our story.